This video is actually for the helpers. We've done some other tips videos with coloring and cutting, and this video today is for drawing. Sometimes drawing can be very challenging for kiddos that might have fine motor issues or just trying to put their thoughts down on paper. Sometimes that can be very tricky. So hopefully some of these ideas might be able to help you out. We're going to talk about using a model, taking turns, using a highlighter, and using shapes. So hopefully some of these ideas might help. They might not, but they're worth a try. So go ahead and get some coffee and let's get started. Okay, helpers, drawing can be so tricky for some kiddos, whether it's because they don't have the fine motor skills yet, or just trying to get those thoughts down on paper, or just not really understanding the concept. For some kiddos, this can be very tricky. So a way to start out, I like to try, is just taking turns. So it might look kind of strange, but some kiddos just might not really even understand the concept of drawing. So a good way to start that out would be, I would draw a circle. We're just going to go with a sun because a sun is pretty simple to draw. Okay, so I would start out with a circle, and then I would say, my turn, and then I would draw this half of the circle. And then I would say to the kiddo, okay, your turn. And then hopefully they would see what I did and they will mimic what I did. And then they will trace the other half of the circle. And I would continue with that the whole way around. So if I have my sun with all my little rays, and then I would say, okay, my turn. And then I would actually point, your turn. And then hopefully they would follow through. My turn. Your turn. So then I would do that all the way around. And then hopefully this would kind of get them to go, oh, okay, so I'm drawing. And then when you're all finished, you can talk about it's a sun. You worked on a bunch of skills there. They were listening, following directions. They were tracing. They were turn taking. So many things are going on with just a simple task like this. Okay, let's see another idea. Okay, helpers. So this idea kind of piggybacks off of the first one, but if the student or the kiddo actually gets the concept of tracing and highlighting, then we don't have to take turns. This is just, oh, okay, it's time to draw. So we're going to draw a simple house. So depending on where your kiddo is, if you have a kiddo that is ready, you could just draw this entire thing, draw the triangle and draw this. Okay, your turn. Then the student or the kiddo could easily follow suit. They may have the skills to do this already. Wow, silly paper. Okay, but you may have other kiddos, they're not here yet. We might have to start here. Your turn. You may have to actually go through each line and each step to complete the same task. Your turn. I'll just try to, 2 hands there. Okay, and then you may have to do this for the whole picture, and that is totally okay. There is nothing wrong with that. It's just wherever the kiddos are, this is where we need to be. If you have to do one line at a time, that is okay. And then plus doing this, they're actually getting great skills in making downward strokes and horizontal strokes. Like there's a lot of skills happening and either way. So depending on where the kiddo you are working with is, you may have to do it in different ways, but highlighting is an excellent way to help with drawing. Okay, let's see another idea. Okay, helpers, sometimes you'll have kiddos that don't need to have highlighters. They could just have a model. So sometimes, like if they needed to draw a sun and say they were not sure how to do that, then you could just give them a model, have it ready for them. So just say, okay, here we go. You could draw your model, and then they could look at it, and then they could copy it. They might be able to do that. Here we go. There's their model. And they just copied what you did. Just simply giving them something to look at, a visual or reference, that might be all that kiddo needs. So hopefully that might help. Let's see another idea. Okay, helpers. So here we have something that I've heard a lot of times is I do, you do. So basically, it's kind of like a model where like you would model something. So I do. So then you would draw, let's just say a circle. We're going to draw a cat head. You do. Then the student or the kiddo would follow what you do. Okay, I do. And then I would make my ears. And then you do. And then they would copy you. And you would continue this. I do. You do. I do. You do. I do. You do. I do. You do. So you can draw just anything really, using the I do, you do way to do it. So that's an idea there. And I think we have one more idea. Let's check it out. Okay, helpers, this is our last idea. We are going to talk about using shapes. You will have some kiddos that even with some of those other strategies that just still might not make sense to them, but they understand shapes. So the best way to describe that would be making a simple house. So we can say, let's start with a triangle. Make a triangle, and then you would make your triangle, and then it would be their turn. So you're still kind of doing an I do, you do, but you're really focusing on those shapes. So then they can make theirs, and then you can say, okay, now we're going to make a square. And then it looks like a square. We didn't go all the way across, but then they can kind of see that square shape. But you also could do that with like making animals. I feel like making animals is really challenging for some kiddos. They just like, maybe they want to make, I don't know, a dog, but it's too hard and they don't understand it. So we'll just flip this over. An easy way to try that would just be like, okay, let's use shapes. Let's make an oval for its head. Oval. Your turn. And they can make an oval. Okay, now we're going to make the body. So we're going to make a big oval. Your turn. Okay, so now we make a big oval. And then I'm going to be like, okay, depending on the student's ability, we can just let's make 4 straight lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, doggies usually have tails. Let's make a tail. Your turn. Okay, and then this dog, let's say he has triangle ears. So I'm going to go up, down. Your turn. Up, down. Okay, and then we have 2 ears. So up, down. Up, down. Just using those directional words can sometimes be super helpful. And then, oh, he needs an eyeball. Give him an eye. Okay, and then we'll say this would be a happy dog. It'll just be like a sideways. Kind of looks like a crazy cat because Mrs. Huey is not the best artist, but you get the idea. So taking turns, using highlighters, using a model, I do, you do, shapes. There are lots of different ways to help kiddos really try to understand drawing. So hopefully some of those will help you, and let's wrap up this video. Okay, helpers, hopefully some of those drawing ideas and tips might be useful for you. We talked about highlighting, using a model, using shapes, taking turns. I really like the highlighting one, but starting out, you might really have to take turns because even highlighting, they just might not understand that concept yet. Like, what do you want me to do with this, son? And then if you do half of it, your turn, and then they do the other half, then they start to make that connection, and then you can move to just them highlighting, and then just you making a model, and then them copying that. So hopefully you'll be able to take those steps and increase those drawing skills. That would be awesome. Hopefully these ideas will help, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you can learn with Mrs. Huey. Bye!
It's Huey time. Bye!